founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ngozi Talk Shows. So today I'm on my own again, and I will be talking about accelerating your seduction skills. So what are the seduction skills? Seduction skills means you have to choose the right victim. If you want to seduce a woman, you have to choose the right woman. Everything depends on the target of your seduction, your intentions. And so basically, seductions means you create a sense of security when it comes to that moment, and you approach a woman indirect, and you send mixed signal to a woman. So you are in a pub, so you can, if you want to seduce a woman, to show them that you like them, so you can send a mixed signal to them. Basically, seduction is an object of desire. So basically, you are creating triangling love at that moment based on your desire, at that moment based on your feelings. You are creating your needs. What does your body need at that moment? So I'm not saying go around and seducing women, okay? So it's the master, it's the art of the intuition. And basically, when you're seducing a woman, you enter into their spirit, and the spirit of love, and you enter your own spirit and let them understand your needs. That moment is sending the signals of your needs, that moment, what your body is feeling, and creating the temptations. So that's how you seduce a woman, creating the temptations. So I'm not saying go around and seducing every woman. So you can create the temptations to your woman, and let them know what you are feeling that moment. So that is the topic. That's what I will be talking about it today. And so and so we will learn lots of things, and we'll be able to, when you learn the art of seduction, you'll be able to get, you can seduce your woman, the one that you already have, or you can seduce women by if you learn the art of seduction, then that means you'll find it very easy to exchange numbers with women, because sometimes men, they find it difficult to actually exchange numbers to approach women because the fear of rejection. Sometimes men, they don't want to approach women because they don't want to be rejected. But if you learn the art of seduction, it doesn't mean that every woman is going to want you. It means you know your needs at that moment, and you can actually approach a woman and without expectations, knowing that if there is a rejection, I can face the consequences. Because when you learn something, you want to use that to basically for it to work on your favor. But if it doesn't work out when you try to seduce women, you have to do it right though. If you want to seduce women, you have to do it right. So I'm not saying that you will get I'm not saying when you learn the art of seduction, you will get information from every woman, or no, I'm not saying that. Sometimes women might not be interested, but you have to learn. When you learn the art of seduction, then that's how you get a woman. That means you know enough to let the unavailable woman get you down. So yeah, and that if I'm not saying go approach unavailable woman, because if a if a unavailable woman, you start seducing everyone, seducing women that are not available, then that means it is going to affect your confidence. So there is a difference between um, being playful and knowing how to be playful and going around and being playful to everybody. When you're playful, that means if you earn the art of seduction, that means you can do it natural. um, Even with the women who are unavailable, you can actually practice with them, or practice with somebody and just say, I'm learning this, and then practice with that person. But you have to be somebody that you know, so that will help you to actually uh, get to where you need to go. So plenty of women will be unavailable for various reasons. Some have boyfriends. So when you try to seduce them, they will explain to you nicely that I'm not available. Don't be offended. Some are taking a break from dating. So if somebody tells you that you're trying to seduce them and they tell you that I'm taking a break from dating, don't be offended. And some might be just in the wrong mood. Whatever, it doesn't matter. As long you are teaching yourself the art of seduction, as long you understand the consequences of what happens when you try to do something, it means that sometimes things might go your way, or sometimes the things might not go your way. So um, you have to continue with whatever you are learning, because when it comes to, you have to continue seducing. Basically, you can't be put off just because someone is married, or you approach the woman, they tell you they're married. That's what is going to happen anyway. So you don't get put off by that. You apologize and then you move on. If you see a nice woman, but if they're already wearing a ring, there is no point in approaching them, because they are already wearing a ring. As So it doesn't matter if some women are not available, you know enough to let the unavailable woman get you down. So that will affect your confidence if you do that. And now that you can get the numbers of tons of women, so that means your job is done, right? Or whoever is coaching you, that means their job is done. So you need to set yourself up that way, and it should be, if you set yourself to succeed, basically, then um, it will help you. Basically, if you say, okay, this is what I want to do, I want to learn how to seduce a woman, or you can find a coach. Or if that is your desire, learning how to seduce a woman, and the outcome, if it doesn't come your way, so you have to face the consequences. You have a mindset of facing the consequences. So the first step you've got to remember is, just because you've got a woman interested, and even if you keep your confidence, your relaxed confidence going, there is still places for you to stumble. The reason why I'm saying there will still be plenty of places for you to stumble is because just because a woman has given you attention, it does not mean that your job is done. It means you still have to convince her to go on a date. Even if it is your woman, you still have to convince her. When you are seducing your own spouse, you still have to convince them. Maybe they might be busy, but you still have to convince them that I am worth your time. So just because you seduced a woman and they've given you your attention, there is still a process that you are going to stumble that you need to be aware of. So it doesn't mean that you have won when it comes to women. You still have to keep going to convince them that you're worth it. You're worth. And this might surprise you. If you find a woman that is easy just like that, you seduce them just like that, you get what you want, that means they are not for keeps. But a woman that is worthy, you don't just seduce them and get what you want. You still have to fight to convince them that I'm worthy, I'm worth giving me your time, giving me that date that I'm asking. I'm worthy to take you out. I'm worthy to spend time with you. You still have to do those things when it comes to women who knows exactly what they want. A woman that wants a serious relationship. So there's two different women. If you find a woman that just want to have fun and that's easy, it's fine. If they agree with you, it's fine. But if you find a woman that really wants that you've seduced them and you want to have a relationship with them, you want to take them for a date and they want a serious relationship, you're going to have to stumble by learning how to keep that seduction going. So, but you shouldn't take a woman, what it might surprise you, but you shouldn't take a woman on a date. That might sound strange when you seduce them straight away. You shouldn't take them straight away because if you take a woman for dinner and a movie and you are asking to be strong along, like a knitting club quilt. So basically, if you seduce a woman and they agree, like they're like, okay, I'm listening. So you need to talk to them. And if you say, okay, you seduce them straight away and they agree, and then you are like, I'm gonna take you up on a date. So that means you are setting yourself up for all sorts of mistakes that moment. You can't seduce a woman and straight away and say, I'm going to take you out on a date right now. No. It would take you about a second for a woman to have, it would take about a second for a woman to have a second thoughts. So what you need to do, what you will do when they have a second thoughts, that means you will just end up begging the woman and the things, whatever the conversation, it will be uncomfortable and boring conversation. So you seduce a woman, you give them your number, keep them guessing. Set up a date and keep them guessing. Leave them with some food for thoughts. So when you meet a woman and you leave them with some food for thoughts, they're wondering what kind of a person you're charming. You have successfully by seducing them, for them giving you your attention, and you have succeeded for with them for giving you setting up a date to go on a date. So you can make it work. That means that you can make it work. You just have to, once they agree, you just have to go home and another plan. And you make sure you keep it as authentic as possible. You can't pretend to be somebody that you are not. Keep it as authentic as possible. In the best scenario, you have to create when you go and meet that person somewhere together. This can mean basically, or if you arrange to go and meet somebody, sometimes, like, if you don't know what, for matchmaking, we don't do the coffee or whatever, the pub, we don't do that. We do strictly professional. Everything has to be a meal, because when you take someone for coffee, it feels like you are basically interviewing that person. But if you meet somebody and they're charming, so you can arrange to meet them, because you don't know their motives. So as women, you don't know the person who has seduced you, their motives. So sometimes it's best to meet up for a coffee, and and maybe a bar or a nice pub, where during the day, I'm not talking about in the night, and just go there and relax and find out what this person that has seduced you, what is their motive exactly. So once you know their motives, then you can arrange a proper date with them. Or what you can do straight away, if they succeeded to seduce you, a man, if you succeed to seduce a woman, what you can do is you can ask maybe straight away if she wanted to go for a coffee, not for a meal, because you don't know that woman at that moment, you don't know their motives. So you can ask if you go for coffee. So that means you're creating a world, you're creating your own world. So you make a move by making a move. So you can do that, and just keep it simple. And that is a powerful move. If you can manage from seduction to agreeing, from agreeing to coffee, from coffee to getting to know that person, that is a bonus. That is powerful. So but if let's say you don't want to go for coffee, and say you want to tell her something, and maybe it can be about something you want to show her, or maybe you want to show her, or basically you can say, I want to show you something. If you like that person, you can say, I want to show you something. Or it could be something like you want to show her something that you're excited about, or something that you bought, or something that is your possession, or it could be something, or it could be something like it could be a photo album, it could be a car, it could be anything. Basically, you're not showing off at that moment, because you are being you. You are trying to create a conversation. You can say, oh, by the way, I want to show you my car. Or by the way, I want to show you my book. You're trying to create a conversation anyway. When you're seducing somebody, you have to make up things and find things that you think this is going to work that moment. It doesn't have to be something that is really big, and you take the lead, and lead her to a more secluded spot, wherever you think that is gonna work. Don't put your hands all over her, because when you meet a woman for the first time, you put your hands all over a woman, you you will be a woman will tell you off. So you do not put your hands all over a woman. That means you look desperate and pervy. So if you put your hands all over a woman, you can seduce a woman without putting your hands all over. So we have to respect those boundaries, and then you find a place where you can lead her, And remember, when I'm saying leading her, you are shifting her into a world, a little bit, a world that is a little bit, which is you want you and her just to be you and her. You are creating this fantasy, this this world that you want her and you to be in that world. So you have to also, when you are creating that world, you have to maintain strong eye contact, because a woman wants to know that when a man is seducing me, they want to know that you are actually leading that moment. So that's what you need to do, um, creating your that world. Um, it should be easier and not really hard. When you want to create the world, it should be easier. And moving to another sport, right? So you have to keep moving this world. I mean, this sport, you have to learn to use your imagination to keep moving and keep moving. And it is important, very, very important. The most important thing is that you concentrate. You need to concentrate on getting a woman. You need to concentrate on getting that woman. Like, she needs to trust you. So that means you need to, your focus it should be when you are speaking to a woman, keep your eye contact, making sure that your concentration and you are focusing on winning the woman that you're talking to. And moving to the next step, whatever the conversation that might be. So you need to make sure that you're moving to the next step. You want the woman to trust you. You want them to basically to um, once you have that connection, once you realize that there's a connection, then the next step is changing settings. So you reaffirm your strength, you reaffirming and strengthening that connection with her. So you don't stay in the same place. Don't let her make you stay in the same place, because otherwise she get bored. So you have to keep moving in that world where you are in. Make sure you keep moving, which is very, very impressive when it happens very quickly. When a woman wins you, that means when you make her, when you actually take the woman to your own world, creating that world where you and her are together, and keep moving to the next step, keep moving to the next place. You know, like when you're making love to somebody, what happens? You go to the next step. That's what the seduction is about. When you are talking, even when you are talking seduction, you don't have to seduce somebody to go to bed. You're seducing someone. We're talking about seduction, seducing somebody to actually to win that person, so you can take them to a date. And if they agree, because it's all up to them anyway. So when you move to that, when you strengthening that connection, when you actually strengthen that connection, this is good in so many ways. When the connection is actually together, which means it will give you a chance to get to know the woman very quickly, get to know what they're thinking, what they want, and what they're looking for. It will feel basically um is it it will feel basically, when it happens, that moment, basically the girl will start figuring out what she wants, if she really, really likes you, but she's not going to take you to bed. So don't even think about it. That even if you actually manage to seduce her, she's not going to take you to bed. So don't even think about it. So I'm not talking about that kind of seduction. Yeah, we can talk about that kind of seduction for the couples. So she's not even so what she'll be thinking about at that moment is, are you worthy for her to invest her time with you? So that's what she'll be thinking about, because going on a date with somebody, that's investing time. She'll be thinking about, okay, is it worth it for me to invest my time, go on a date with this person? Is this person worth it? Worth it? So that's what the woman will be thinking about, and it will feel natural. If you have connected with her, it will feel natural, and um, sometimes you might even win the dates. Is when you learn the art of seduction, it's low pressure and it's fun. Because if you don't know the art of seduction, that means when you approach a woman is gonna play hard to get. And if you don't know the art of seduction, it's just going to be pressure that you have to convince her. You have to convince her to agree to go on a date with you. And you have to agree that you have to, she has to agree to actually listen to you. But if you know the art of seduction, it becomes fun because you play, she plays. She realizes well that she needs to play the game. Then she'll end up playing the game and she'll find it fun and very spontaneous, without expectations or commitments at that moment, because she knows that we are playing the game. But if she really, really likes the game, that's when she'll be like, and then you guys can discuss if you want to go on a date together. Then you can realize is if you really, really, really win her, make sure you don't push women. You don't push when you're seducing a woman. Don't even try to push a woman. When comes to seduction, you do not push her. If she's not interested, she's not interested. So don't push her. Make sure you don't push her. So if it's not something that you always do or something that you don't know, don't try it. Okay, don't try it, or unless you have learned properly. You have learned to seduce somebody properly when you are asking them for dates. If the girl is out with their friends, you don't want to impose. If you seduce her and she gives you that attention and she comes to you and leaving her friends where they are, and she's really, really interested, or if she's busy, she might say, here's my number, call me when I'm not busy. I'm busy right now. So don't push her. You have to respect it. Those boundaries cannot be crossed. You can't push a woman. You have to be gentle. So if she gives you a number, you just leave it there, take her number, and then uh, that would be it at that moment. So for the reason you should always set a time limit when you've started talking with a woman is if a woman says to you, okay, they give you attention and they say, oh, I have to get back to my friends in a few minutes. But before that, and or they say, I have to leave soon, but first, or they say before that, they say, oh, I have to go and stay with my friends for a few minutes, and then before that, then you can do whatever you want to do if they allow you to do that. And or maybe they might say, I have to leave soon, but first, you can say, but first. If they say, I have to leave soon, but first, then you start whatever. I'm not seducing you, so you can, but first, they say, I have to leave soon. So because they give you attention, they say, I have to leave soon, but first, you say, but first, and then you continue with whatever you want to say to your woman, because I'm not your woman, so I can't say it for you. So you have to find things that you want to say to them. And if the woman you are talking to seems ready to follow your lead, then you can say, I'm going to, what are you going to do? Why is that? It's a good sport. You should come along. Where is he going? I'm going to. He's telling you that I'm going to this place. He's telling you this beautiful place. Remember, he's trying to seduce you. So would you like to come along? Or he says, would you like to come along? No, it doesn't make sense. You should come along. So if he tells you the place, this beautiful place is going to, and you like the guy, women, so don't, if you really like the guy, and you can say, okay, if you want to. Um, and then if she agrees, you can say, oh, I like to teach you what this city offers. Offers some beautiful things, so I would like to teach you if you let me. And then the woman, if she replies, and then you say, we're having a conversation with two people, and then you say, wow. So you say to the woman, by the way, this is a killer line if you are not local. So you are telling a woman you want to show her this place, and then you're telling her the place is a killer line, and she'll be wow, and she'll start asking questions. Remember, eye contact, always eye contact, and in your eyes, it has to say everything. Your eyes tells the story. So, and if she agrees. But oftentimes, a woman won't be able to join you for whatever reason. So you have to be aware of that. And make sure you are going somewhere fun. When you mention a place, make sure it's somewhere fun, somewhere worth her time. Your conversation has to naturally flow from your surroundings. You can't approach a woman and with the power of seduction and make up stories. Make sure the place. If you learn to seduce a woman, you have to learn the places, the surroundings. So when you talk about places, it has to be real. We're not talking about fantasy, we're talking about real. So when you tell a woman that I want to take you to this place, it has to be real. Because if she agree that moment and you're making up stories, then you're in trouble. So conversation has to, it will be flowing, and from your surroundings. So basically, that's what you do when you seduce a woman to take them for a date. Why do extra work when you can let the atmosphere help you? So that's how you can actually seduce a woman. But you have to know that you cannot buy a woman. That is a big thing that you need to understand, that you cannot buy love and you cannot buy a woman. You can't do that. The reason is uh, the woman you've just met, you don't have to lead them based on what you have. So you have to be authentic. You have to be real. And if you show a woman how much you're worth by showing them your image, by showing them your inner being, you're going to win them. But if you try to buy them, to show them how much money you have, it's all going to go wrong. So you don't have to buy a woman. You don't have to, the woman you just met, you don't have to do that. That is just goes wrong. The woman will read it in so many ways. They will read it in a different way, that even if you're a good person, they're not going to want to know you. So you can't buy love. That's what you need to know. Um, you don't have to, when you want a woman, you don't have to prove to a woman by showing them your financial success. So when I said you can actually say, I want to show you my car, it could be there is a story in that car. You could tell a story and say, you know, when I bought this car, uh, what was in my mind was one day I'm gonna have somebody sitting next to me. So you are telling a story based on that, on your car. So you can't buy a woman. Once you show a woman how successful you are before, or anything else, they are like, I'm God. Okay. So unless if you find a woman that is a gold digger, in that way they'll stay because they just want your money. So you can't buy a woman. Um, if And at the end of the day, if you show women success first, before showing them your image and your inner being, you will end up thinking that you are not interesting, but you are, and because of the material of showing off. So, and that shows insecure as well. If you are insecure, and that shows that. Um, that's what men do when they're insecure. That's what they do by showing off their success, finances and stuff. So women don't like that. Hot sports cars, that means you are trying to buy her and you are lacking confidence. If you actually, you can actually say to a woman, let's say if you say, I want to take you to this place that I know, and maybe you take it to the cars, the garage where they sell nice cars. If the car is your thing, and you just do the test drive, just for fun, and just tell her why you love that place. There got to be a story behind it. In that way, it's fine. But if you talk to a woman and make sure you don't push her, so if you show them success, the women will simply say, I'm actually, I think you're hot and I think you're a nice person, but I'm good. Yeah, some men they seduce women and they take them on a date, they pay for them, and they think that paying for them is going to attract, they're going to find them attractive. And when they are finished, the woman if says, I'm not interested, and they're like, but I just paid for your meal. So then it becomes a problem. So you don't do that. Men say, no, 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 no. So feel free to whatever, uh, to take advantage of the environment in that city by showing the woman the city. You don't have to talk about how successful you are. You don't have to be, remember, you are winning somebody. You want them to win your inner being. You want them to win, you want to win them to win your image, to basically want you. So at that moment, so whatever at that moment they'll be wanting, that's what a woman will want, to get to know you, not to get to know your finances and your success and everything. So then the success is going to come down if a woman likes you. That's when they ask, what do you do for a living? Then you can say, tell a woman, once they ask you, what do you do for work? Oh, okay. And where do you live? Then you tell a woman, you don't just say, oh, I live in this beautiful place here, I've got this, I've got this, I've got that. They don't need it. You just have to wait. That time will come, because the woman always they want a man who is successful. So they don't want just to date somebody who doesn't go to work, who stays at home. So that question is basically, so they will ask. So you just have to wait in talking about success and everything. Um, if you know you are a nice, gorgeous man inside out, so you don't have to play hard to get, you just have to learn to seduce a woman, because what's on the inside is greater than what's on the outside. And early meals as well. You can show a woman around and get to know them. Um, this is one of the biggest reason to avoid dinner dates. Just quick, you can have a dinner date if somebody, because when somebody goes through matchmaking, the matchmakers, we do the screening for you. The questions that you have to ask, we do that for you. So it's easy. That's why when a man comes through the matchmaker, it's easy. They can go straight to for dinner. It's fine. But if you just meet that person, avoid early meals, dinner days, to begin with. Unless if you really, really, really get along. If you really, really get along with somebody, just go for it. But if you really just met the person and they are saying, I want to take you for dinner, I would suggest just to wait. And because if you don't like the person and then you go on a date, it will create awkwardness. If things in that social settings, if things are not going how they should be with somebody you barely know, so you basically force all sorts of uncomfortable thoughts and about whatever the money involves. So try to keep it easy, simple. Coffee, yeah, just keep it simple. Coffee or showing around the environment, showing around town. So keep it simple. And shopping maybe might be easy. Shopping, would you buy something? Some people they do. I go shopping, but I never really buy anything. Uh, so if you really, it smells is actually worse than dinner going shopping with somebody you barely know. Um, So avoid to put yourself, you just need to avoid to put yourself in a situation where the issues of payment comes up, and avoid it, because sometimes some men they make women feel that when they pay for the first time, if you don't know their motives, they will make you feel that you owe them. So you don't have to be in that situation where you feel that you owe somebody. So basically that is the power of seduction that um, we need to actually talk about. So we talk about choosing the right victim. That is number one. Choose the right victim. That means choose the right woman. When it comes to seduction, choose the right woman, and everything will depend with the target of that seduction. That is number one. So number two is you have to create a false sense of security. Approach indirect. Your eyes, your body, your voice, everything, it tells the story at that moment when you're seducing a woman. So make sure that you're taking it to a world, because when you're seducing somebody, you're going to a different world. That will be step by step. So you're sending mixed signal, and she's responding to those signals. So you have to, when someone is aware of your presence, so that means they are responding to whatever the signal, whatever is happening in that moment. So make sure this you're sending the right signal, and your desires, draw them closer to you. When you're actually sending signal, that means you need to draw them closer to you. You're closing some, you're drawing somebody, creating the needs, setting stay anxiety and discontent. And you understand that means at that moment you're mastering the art of intuition. So that is where your mindset have to be creating your target, and basically your attention is very, very essential that moment. So when you are seducing a woman, and enter their spirit, the spirit of love, and where do you want to take them? So you know when you enter somebody else's spirit, where do you want to take them? Entering their world, where do you want to take them? So you have to, that is the power of seduction. So when you enter somebody's spirit, make sure that you understand where you take them. You are taking them to a world of temptation. You're creating the temptation, and keeping that person in suspense, and they don't know what you're gonna do next. So that's what you do when you're creating the power of seduction, and you keep them wondering what is coming next. What is he going to do next? What is he gonna do? Creating temptation, and use the power of words. Power of words is very, very important. What you say that moment, your voice, how it sounds is very, very, very important. And you have to pay attention to details. Pay attention to her without trying hard. When you are seducing somebody, you don't try hard. Don't try hard. So don't try hard. Make sure your target is with you in that world, in that spirit. Make sure you've entered their spirit, and they understand, and they are with you, and disarm through have a strategy of how you can deal with weaknesses and vulnerability, and so you can track those feelings. Basically, when you are seducing somebody, it means you are leading them, and you are setting up confusion of desire and reality. They creating the illusion. They are with you, going with you. You are leading. So that is the power. Don't isolate them. They are your victim, but don't isolate them, because that is weak. When you isolate somebody, uh, doing that, and use your spirituality as well. It does help to deal with doubts and insecurity. When that moment the person you are seducing, they are faced with the doubt and insecurities, because they will be doubting whether are they doing the right thing, or by following your world, or are they doing the wrong thing. So you need to understand the power of spirituality, which is you are leading them, at the same time you're giving them the comfort of it's okay, it's okay, so they can follow you, so their mind can follow you to whatever world you want to take them. Make sure you do not take a woman to this fantasy sex world while you just met. Remember, you are seducing a woman to win a woman's heart, to trust you, to say, I'm gonna give you 1 hour to take me out for coffee. I'm gonna give you 1 hour or 2 hours to get to know you. So don't put uh, the sexually fantasy seduction. Don't do that. and or try to ask a woman to take them in bed. Don't do that. That's no good. Don't ask them to take them in bed. So oh, bless me. So that is the power of seduction, and I'm done now and I have to go. So if you are looking for love, you can go to www.hseia.com and just get in touch with us. And if you're looking for one to connect with one of the coaches that goes to talk shows, go to our page in Gossip Talk Shows and get in touch with one of our speakers. And if you are watching this later, please press some heart button and share some love with your friends and family. God bless you. Live with grace, everyone.